Good morning, Blue Troopers. Well, I'm multitasking today. I'm drinking my coffee, talking to you, and on the exercise bike at the same time. So this is an experimental video. That's why I'm not wearing my nice Max's Models t-shirt, because I make it sweaty. So I asked you guys if anybody had made a kit of Ed Straker's car from the TV show UFO. And, oh, by the way, I'm trying to record this on the iPad, so I got to figure out exactly where I got to look to make eye contact with you. Is that it? Of course, I move my eyes. Is that it? Aha, okay. Anyway, that's where I'm going to look. Oh, wait a minute. Is that it? Is that it? Where's the lens? There's lens on there somewhere. But the whole bar is just black. They hide that thing. Anyway, so someone sent me a link that Sci-Fi Studio Models from the U.S. makes a resin copy. And that was, let's see, that was about from Douglas. So I got my cell phone over here so I can actually look things up while I'm talking to you instead of recording on the cell phone. And this iPad doesn't seem to pulse in and out like the cell phone does. The problem is it's not my iPad, so I got to figure out how to, upload it, put it on the computer. I'll probably do a raw dump, so there won't be anything on this. But my smiling face and words of wisdom. So I'm gonna crank the tension up one notch here. There we go. And so I need to put the clock back on here. Don't want to exercise too much. Like that was ever a threat to me. Okay, so I did a little bit of reading, and we'll talk about it on the live stream in more detail. Apparently, when they made the movie Doppelganger, also known as Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, they made 3 of these cars, and apparently paid a lot of attention to detail. I believe Straker's car is, I think the cars are all still around in collections. I know Straker's car went through some kind of, I found it on a website, some kind of an extensive rebuild a while back, but the cars really are cool. But I'm not gonna, I'll put, when we get to the, okay, hold on, it's driving me nuts here. Okay, that way, tick, 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 that way. Okay, got my noise. Oh, there's how I can figure out where the lens is at. And it is, okay, that's weird. Now I know where to look. Okay, so look at the red square. So, anywho, I'm not touching you. So anyway, that's from an old comedian. He's talking about riding. I imagine when we were all kids, we all went on that big family trip. He was talking about, I'm sitting next to the most annoying person in the world, my brother. And he'd be doing this, but my mom was like, don't touch your brother. So he would just do this, and I'm like, stop it. I'm not touching you. So, getting back to cars. Well, from what little I've been able to dig up so far, the cars are made for this movie Doppelganger. I believe it had Roy Thinnis. Actually, I'm just going to look it up here. That's the kind of nice thing about using 2 devices, is that I can actually look something up while I'm talking. Okay. Movie Doppelganger. Oh, I get in Doppel. 1993 film. Journey. Apparently they made another one with the same name in 1993, which I don't think had anything to do with that. Journey to the Far Side of the Sun. 1969. Okay. 69 film Doppelganger. It's supposed to be in 2069, so not that far in the future. Well, it was a near future movie when it was made. Okay, British science fiction. It is Jerry and Sylvia Anderson, along with Donald James. So, let's see the cast. I think it was Roy Thinnis. Yep, Roy. I think you say it Thinnis. Roy Thinnis, Ian Hendry, anyway, Pat Wymark, Lane Loring. So, known for their Super Marionation television program, as Thunderbirds, it was their first major live-action production. Okay, and they had a really cool spaceship they came up with, and I remember when I saw the movie, my brother had told me very briefly that, oh, it's about these astronauts that go to the far side of the sun. They found a planet out there. When they land, everybody thinks they'd return from their mission without it turned around and come back. No one understood why. It turns out that there's a mirror Earth on the other side of the sun, and literally mirror, like you look in a mirror, everything's backwards. And it's basically a big episode of In the Mirror Darkly. And so the excuse me. Then it's about them trying to get back and problems with reverse polarity and everything being reading backwards and stuff. And it's a interesting concept. Model work was pretty good, as you would expect from the Andersons, because they had so much experience at it. And I'm looking up. It seems like there might have been a kit model of their ship. As you guys know, I do this thing entirely on the fly. Kit model Doppelganger. Let's see if anything pops up. Kit model Doppelganger. I'm not seeing anything. But Journey. I think Google pre-populars too. The far side of the sun. Oh, because I got cot model. Big thumbs and little keyboard. Kit. This is fun. Probably boring you guys to tears. Okay, kit model Doppelganger. That was what he named his ship. Monsters in Motion. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe there is something here. The Dove spacecraft. And what's this? Oh. There's their shuttle. Journey to the Far Side of the Sun. Dove spacecraft Doppelganger model kit. Sold out. Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, Dove spacecraft Doppelganger model kit. This ship is Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, aka Doppelganger, the first non-puppet production. Creators Jerry Sylvia Anderson. This kit is resin cast. The piece is about 5 inches long when complete and has movable wings. Requires painting and modeling skills. No kidding. And Monsters in Motion does apparently a lot of other sci-fi stuff. There's the Weapon and Communicator from Space 1999. And, well, what do you know? Of course, it would be resin. I did find out, as I just said, also Stringer's car was done in resin. Sometimes movies are a lot better when you're a kid. You see them as an adult, you start picking out the problems, but when you're a kid, you're blissfully ignorant, so you just, ooh, spaceships, which is about the way I was when I saw 2001. I think I was 8 years old. And my brother told me, you're not going to understand it. And I was like, I don't understand it. Ooh, space station, spaceship. Monkey men fight. Monkey men grow. Find big chiclet. Go to space. Go deeper into space. Weird things happen. Light show. And then old man in hotel. And then big baby. Big baby. A baby. That's the 9-year-old or 8-year-old's description of 2001: A Space Odyssey. So, I've already been on this thing 9 minutes. Whew, I'm doing good. Oh, there's a clock right on top of the camera right here, so I can how long the video is going, so I can keep track that way. We just got this thing, so I won't be doing too much today. You guys tell me if you think this is an annoying way to do things. And if you think it is, I'll just... See, the thing is, I get up in the morning, and there's only so much time to get stuff done. And I figure this way I can combine my coffee, my exercise, my video making, and save time. Because, as you guys are aware, usually I don't even get these videos up and posted until, noon? I mean, that's why I quit calling it Morning with Max's Models and Coffee with Max's Models, because most of you guys, it's lunch or even dinner time by the time I get this thing up, so just have some coffee and enjoy. there's only so many hours in a day, and clearly I need my beauty rest. So today, post office, all those packages I talked about. Family member has doctor's appointments, so we going to be out doing that. So don't know how much model building I get done. And then, right at the doctor's office, must go out for lunch. And then get back in the afternoon. A lot of times I actually don't get started working on the models till 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon. Then only work a couple hours before I start making the evening video. And now I got a stretch of days off. There's a good possibility that I am going to be able to get a little bit more building done. I really want to, as I mentioned, I want to take my time, and sometimes slower is faster. And the plan is that if I could just take my time but do things right so I don't have to do them over, things should be self-fulfilling. I mean, the job should go pretty smoothly. And I stopped and thought about how much time I spend building models, fixing stuff I did wrong. And it's not that bad, especially depending on the kit, but between model cars I had to restrip or paint jobs I had to completely reprime and redo the model and everything, and then you start eliminating some of the detail because you're putting multiple coats on. But when you take your time and do it right, set it aside, give it a day to gas out or whatever, and come back and you realize your build time has been reduced. It's easier to do multiple projects because you're not, you don't have something on the painting station longer than it needs to be. So, that opens up and everything. And it just realized that sometimes slower is faster. Yes, I am really on the exercise bike, and yes, I'm really drinking coffee while I'm exercising. And since I'm really not starting to sweat, I might go back in uniform tomorrow, wear my Max's Models t-shirt. Of course, after this, it's, bowl of cornflakes and a nap, bowl of cornflakes and a nap. And yes, I stole that from the late great comedian John Panette, who had a routine about when they made him exercise. He goes, he's on the exercise machine, all he can think is, raviolis and a nap, raviolis and a nap. Oh, I love ravioli, but can't have it. Nope, it's got to be health food, because I got to get this blubber off of me again. As you guys probably aware, if you go back and look at one of my earliest videos from before I had the hip replacement, you can see I was thinned out then because I've been dieting regular, and between the hip and the beer bug and everything else, lost my mojo and started putting my weight back on. So now I'm working on that. So, one of the things that sticks you to a diet is having to report to people. That's why things like Weight Watchers work. It's peer pressure. I suppose I could maybe report into Max's Models video once a week with my weight so I could get a little peer pressure from you guys to stay on target. Set the cup safely over there because that's the only one I have. And okay, so I guess that runs out of things to talk about for right now. I just thought I would see how this works out. You guys tell me what we think, what you think, and tell me what we think. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, the only thing I had to talk about was the stuff from Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, the cars and everything. And those cars really are kind of cool as Hollywood cars. I'd totally forgotten about them when I asked you guys, what's your favorite Hollywood car? And Batmobile got a couple of votes. Monsters Mobile got a couple of votes. Monkeys Mobile got 1 or 2. And I think I went with the Monkeys Mobile, but it's a wafer thin margin. And, oh, by the way, I may have mentioned this, but I was chatting with my wife, who is very much the artist and a very creative mind. And I asked her, talking about things we plan to do in the future. And she said, have you considered doing a build where everybody has to build their own, now, not build a Tom Daniel kit, I mean, you could, but everybody has to come up with their own idea for a Tom Daniel inspired build. So take a model and modify it to something that TD would have designed or might have designed, or at least has some of those characteristics and favors where you can see a little bit of that influence on there. So at some point down the road, we might consider doing something like that. And I suppose you could even modify a Tom Daniel kit, but I was thinking more along the lines of, sort of kit bashing a regular kit into something that, or scratch building, but that's a pretty tall order. not something you just do, because first off, you got to come up with the idea in your head, and then you got to, build it in styrene. So if we ever do something like that, that would be something along the lines of a 6-month or year-long secondary project, a parallel project. So we could do our regular builds every 2 months or so, and then have that one as a, hey, next year, let's see if we, and I wouldn't expect a lot of people to engage in that because it's a pretty involved thing, but it just might be something to do is all. Or, maybe just do one at your leisure and submit the pictures when you're done, whatever. Just an idea. So you guys tell me what you think of that. Well, I hit my 15-minute marks. This is my first day on the bike. That's about all I'm going to do. I was actually on here about a minute before. Usually I start off at 20, but I think I'm already starting to feel it in the new hip. So I think I'm getting my physical therapy in. And this doesn't put this as a recumbent bike, so my legs are out in front of me, so I'm not, and the seat's big one. We're very careful about shopping for the right one. And so far, happy with it. Just hope it lasts. Well, guys, that's all I've got for now. Take care of yourselves. And as always, model line.